Welcome everybody to another edition of W 2005 here in TW 2020, and for the first time in a while, I don't have a lot of stuff to go over before. Before I actually start the show, just a couple quick notes, just because I think I might have noticed it as I was going through. Again, this isn't anything big, but the next show after is Fall Brawl, which is a Revolution show and a Nitro show. I might have got that backwards, and Havoc is a Nitro show. Of course, all the shows, aside from the ones that are post-brand, basically switch sides, so next year... So next year, eventually, Fall Brawl will be a Nitro show and vice versa. Not a huge deal, but just keep things even also, just so, it's not the same, gaps in every year. But anyway, getting on to that show, we're in beautiful Storrs, Connecticut, in front of a little over 10,000 people, as we're basically just down the road from Boston, as, it's a couple different states and a whole different area in-game, but it's, basically a quick road trip, honestly, for the next night, which is why I felt comfortable doing it in-game. But anyway, we open the show, with Mayhem highlights, ending, of course, with the picture of your new world champion, Rey Jr., who ended in the views of some people I know who watch this channel, the long national nightmare of the Billy Kidman world title reign. And then we start right off. And that opening video gets 67, with, of course, Rey Jr. Booyaka 619. I know that's the WWE, but, that's what people know. Someone would use it. Coming out. And Rey Jr. coming out to a big pop as, just put over. It's the first time he's been on Nitro since the beginning of the draft, and he's here with the World Championship, and he says it's, gets a big pop, first time on Nitro here in a while, and he's got to be here as the champion. It's been a long road, and he's proud to be the WCW World Champion for every single fan here in attendance, and unlike other champions, he's going to be a fighting champion, defending it whenever he can, because he wants to prove that he has the heart to defend this title against anybody in the world. Speaking of that, cue Mike Awesome to a big heel pop with the United States title. He says, it's true, Billy Kidman and Lance Storm may be locked out of Nitro because they're no longer champions, but I still have this as he holds the US title, and he's still here as a member of the Triumvirate to destroy Rey in one singular moment. Rey responds basically saying, he's ready to take on anybody. If you can talk to Bischoff, he's ready to fight right here tonight if you want. And then cue Shane Helms along with Titus Tomko. And Helms says, wait. Mike, nothing personal, man, but you had a title match last night and you blew it. Meanwhile, I got screwed out of being in the Mayhem final by some jerk kid. And let me remind you, Rey, we fought before and I've defeated you before. So I can get you in the ring and I can become the world champion once again. And, Awesome fires back, but then, we basically get an argument where Rey Jr. agrees to a 6-man alongside, Titus Tomko, Helms, and Mike Awesome. Helms asks him who's our partner's going to be, and Rey Jr. Well, it's interesting you were talking about Mayhem last night, because there is one young wrestler who really impressed me last night at Mayhem, and, he has a partner. And cue the Hart Legacy coming out to a big pop to stand beside, coming out of the crowd into the ring with Rey Jr. as we have a big 6-man setup for later tonight. Rey Jr. and the Hart Legacy taking on Mike Awesome, Shane Helms, and Titus Tomko. And this gets an 89. Everybody did pretty good stuff. And yeah, there we go. So just put over, Rey Jr. will be on Nitro for the first time in a while to take on 3 tough competitors alongside the Hart Legacy. Then we come back from commercial. Alex Wright and Chavo Guerrero come down to the ring, and then come down their opponents, Prince Osei and Eel Skipper, and Osei basically tries to soothe this up by saying, look, Alex, you're a great wrestler, but you can have the riches that you deserve if you just simply walk away, because you and I both know that this man, who is a failure even with his own family, is using you for your talent. And Osei continues, but then Chavo just punches him, and the match is on. So let's get to 60. Fun stuff. Then we have the extra match, which actually is better than I expected. Fun little tag match. It's basically what you expect here. Saying, Osei and Skipper playing heels. Osei doing a bit of typical heel shtick, and then Skipper flying in for quick hits. Wright and Chavo eventually come back, and Wright and Chavo again. They are a well-oiled machine. There's a reason why they were tag champions before, and they look very impressive here. And eventually, after a few minutes, Wright drops Skipper with the double arm DDT. Double arm spike DDT, and picks up the pinfall win here on Nitro in a little over 7 minutes, as Chavo gets a 79, Wright gets a 77, Eddy Guerrero gets a 57, and Prince Osei gets a 62. Again, fun stuff here. Continuing to build up, Wright and Chavo teaming together again on their own. Osei and Skipper take the loss because they're kind of, job to the stars at this moment, even though they're pretty solid. Also, anyway, I'll get to it later with the cruiser match. And then Rey and Chavo celebrate as the answers put over. They're, we're really working well together. And then, wow, okay, let's see here. Okay, so we go backstage, and I forgot to put in here that Jerry Borash is with Sean O'Hara, asking about how he felt about what happened at Mayhem last night. And O'Hara says, it's true. It's unfortunate what happened at Mayhem, but he hoped he put enough damage into Monty Brown, and that's part of the reason why he wasn't able to win. And, I've got nothing but respect for AJ Styles, and I hope, he has a chance to win that, get a title shot. And also, congratulations to Rey, but I'm going to look toward the future and remind everybody why I am the future shock of professional wrestling, and sooner than later, I will be back at the top of this business. And then cue Eddy Guerrero walking in and sort of just sneering at O'Hara. And O'Hara's like, what, Guerrero? I defeated you. We're done here. And he's like, no, we're not. You see, Helms, you're pathetic. If I lost like I did last night, I wouldn't be here giving respect to Rey, giving respect to AJ, who did what I wanted to do, and all that stuff. You see, you should be wanting to destroy anybody who's put in front of you. You should be out there trying to take out Rey Jr. right now. You should be going over to Revolution and challenging AJ for that call shot if you really think Monty got lucky. But you're not. Because by talking about the future shock, you're not ready to be at the top of this business. And O'Hara's like, look, Eddie, we're done. I defeated you. I moved on. I got to do what's best for my career. And you're in my way. So let's just move on and do our own thing. All right? And O'Hara walks away. And of course, that allows Eddie to jump in from behind him, to just begin beating him down before WC officials can get him in and drag him away as Eddie rants, this is not done. So yes, this gets a 95 because these guys are great. So one thing I did notice about O'Hara is, unfortunately, some of his stats are going down pretty quickly. I don't think he's at time decline, but it's weird. I honestly guess if I drug tested him, it would not go great, but, oh well. But still, this is good. Continues this feud, and yeah, fun stuff. And then we have a fun little segment here as we go backstage, as Stacey walks into the locker room where Kaz and Yang are getting ready, and she brings in and says, tonight we've got a 6-man match against Evolution and whoever they can find as a partner. But we needed a partner, and he introduced Romeo. And she says, Romeo is a talent that needs the true mentorage that only Ninkyo can provide. Tonight, he'll earn a chance with us. And then Stacey walks away and she says, Romeo, do what they say, and you might actually do something in this sport. And then she walks away to do other Stacey business. 61, fun little thing to build up the 6-man later tonight. Which, of course, was set up because Kaz and Yang after Evolution. Anyway, so then we have our triple threat cruiserweight match here, as it's a 5-minute flurry of offense. Hidaka gets to kick people, more flies around. Austin does his, suplexes and big lariats. And oof, this match was not good. Moore and Hidaka are really not over, and they have no momentum at all. So, sort of honestly a cold match. But Aries gets the pin with the Brainbuster and gets another pinfall win here. Moore gets a 49. Hidaka gets a 59. Aries gets a 58. It's turning Hidaka's that good. Again, he's honestly somebody who maybe should push a little more. It's just figuring out a character for him. I know character could be he wrestles good, but anyway, Aries gets the win. Then he takes the mic and says, last night, Reckless Roberts, you kept the Cruiserweight title. If you think that doesn't mean I'm going to come after you, you got another thing coming. I don't care who's in front of me. You and your sister, a punk like Seidel, anybody. I will prove to everybody I am the leader of the next generation of Cruiserweight wrestling in this business, and nobody can get in my way. 48, decent promo, continue to build them up. Fun stuff. And then we go backstage. Okay, I actually didn't mean to do this one after the other, but it works. As we see Rey Jr. backstage talking to Seidel, they're obviously talking about what happened last night, and Rey's like, look, I get it. I got lucky that I had all the mentorage in this business, and I got quickly brought to the top. But it can be a hard road even then, especially when dealing with an ass like Robert who has backup. And Seidel's like, I get it. But, I just want one more chance. I know if I could get in the ring one more time, I could take that title off right off him. And Razor pats him on the shoulder and says, then go out there and take it, man. That's all you can do in this business is do what you need to do to rise to the top, but not without selling your soul. And Ray walks away as a fun little babyface segment there as this gets a 63. Because, Seidel, not the best on the mic. And then we have a very interesting segment as for the first time in a month, because somebody got a hard drug and got suspended. So, Borash actually talks to Raven for the first time in a while, and Raven simply answers, the last few weeks were a test to see if the Prophet had anything to his claims. And after looking from afar, he's still unsure. What happened in the midst of Mayhem was a surprise, but not unexpected. He should know better than anybody. The devil has plenty of politics, but despite that, I and my allies. And then he's cut off as Bischoff walks in, and Raven sort of just looks at him, and Bischoff's like, look, I've stayed out of whatever is up with you and the Deadpool and Macias and everything else, because honestly, it makes me and the bosses money. But, Raven, you disappeared for a month, and I hate to break to you, but Macias, not the most communicative guy in the world. So, you want your war? That's fine. Tonight, you're getting that ring on Nitro with Kai Grace. That gets a pop, as looks like we have a match set up for later tonight as Raven comes back in the ring. And honestly, 50-50 odds he gets popped again. But hey, what can you do? 79, good promo. Raven is good. Borscht is really good as well. So there you go. And I wanted to introduce the idea that they aren't a totally closed off world. They're mostly, but And then we go backstage where we see the chosen few, Jarrett, Jindrak, and Divine hanging out. And Jarrett's like, listen up, slapnuts. Last night was not our best night. It was a bump in the road. But even with a loss, we still get a win. As Canyon is currently out with a knee issue because he had to fight us that hard to get barely a win on us alongside his buddies. But tonight, that's not about that. Because tonight, Jindrak, I call you Magnificent for a reason. You have all the talent in this business to be something. And tonight, you get in that ring with that slaw brother Ray, and you kick his ass, and you show him why you are one of the chosen few. Jindrak agrees and says he's going out there and fight and do whatever he says to top. And there we go. 87, solid stuff. Again, building the heels up and setting up the match later tonight. And then we go down the ring. The heels come down the ring. Romeo, Kaz, Yang, Stacy Keibler. And Flair comes out and says, whoa, it's the Nature Boy. See, I got Evolution, and they're the best tag. They're going to be the best tag team in the business sooner than later. A former All-American champion and a military champ. And a man who knows so many languages I've lost count. And can wrestle with the best of them. But I need a partner tonight. And look, Stacey, you got nice legs, but what you did, went out and fight a guy who's been wearing a gladiator outfit for the past years. I got a cruiserweight legend, the great Suzuki. And out comes, great Sasuke, sorry. Suzuki, somebody else different. My bad. But out comes Sasuke, and yeah, there's 6-man. Honestly, he was available, and I'm sure I'll do it. But 69, good stuff. As it's just short saving to set up the match. Which is pretty damn solid. Again, Sasuke actually does pretty well. Again, the only reason I'm not pushing Sasuke more is he's not available for pay-per-views. He wrestles in Michinoku Pro, and there's nothing I can really do. So there's that. Anyway, for the actual match, it's a back-and-forth match. Does what she does. Romeo and Suzuki does a little bit of flying. Lashley throws people around. Cesaro gets his European uppercuts in. Kaz comes in with quick strikes as there's a fun little thing between Kaz and Suzuki, and then Kaz and Cesaro. Lashley throws around Yang, and it's a back and forth match. But eventually things break down, and Lashley grabs Romeo, Dominator right in the middle of the ring. Pinfall finish. 1, 2, 3. Evolution and Sasuke pick up the victory here on Nitro, and a bit of revenge, even though they don't get a pinfall win over the Ninkyo. But this gets 65 overall. Romeo gets a 47. Yang gets a 53. Kaz gets a 90. Sasaki gets a 57. Lashley gets a 34, which we're building up. And Cesaro gets a 59. And yeah, Kaz showing in this match because, he's a guy who I should be pushing more, but I hopefully should push him more this upcoming calendar year. And then post-match, the babyface celebrate, but, Ninkyo are upset in the ring, and this seems to be far from over. But this gets to 63, which is nice. Then we cut backstage where Rey is, talking to some random, backstage people, and then he runs into Le Pen and Toland, who are with Dawn Marie, and Le Pen's like, Rey, you're world champion now, but you still haven't met us, true international talent. I am the biggest international star that's upcoming in this business, and this man is the sexiest man in WCW. So, you got to be ready to look out for people, for young, hungry talent like us, because any day we could take that title from you. And Rey just looks up and down, says, good luck, guys, and walks away. 70, again, just a fun little segment to get Rey involved with people he hasn't been because he's on Revolution, and just, building up Rey. He is, our new top guy, at least for the moment, because he's the world champion. And then we cut to Reckless and Tracy doing a promo with Jared Rash. Reckless cuts a promo saying last night he proved he's still the best cruiserweight in the game today, and nobody will be able to stop him as long as he's getting that ring, taking people apart bit by bit. And when he has his lovely sister as backup, Tracy steps in and says, I do what I do in this business for the brother to make sure he stays the cruiserweight champion. 52, saw a little heel promo, and there we go. And then we have this match, which honestly goes about as well as I expected. So, as you can expect, going to look at the result, Raven was not happy, but hey, Raven, you were just out for a month with hard drugs, so I don't care if you're pissed. But yeah, it's a car crash, it's back and forth, there's interference, but eventually, Morgan, again, this young woman, steps in, throws fire at Raven, allowing Kai Graves in his finisher, which I need to rename, and gets a pinfall victory over Raven here in a little under 5 minutes. It only gets a 52, Raven gets a 76, Kai Graves gets a 38, and the feud continues. And then, of course, the fight continues afterward as Mrs. and Prophet come out after a moment to run off Kai Graves, as a Morning Star stands beside Morgan, as the announcers still aren't sure of the connection between these people. This gets a 78. Fun stuff, and yeah, continuing the feud here, and there we go. And then we cut backstage where Eddie is leaving the arena, but Eric catches up to him as he's leaving, and he's like, what the hell do you want? And he's like, look, I realize you're pissed and you think you deserve more. But, hey, look, I'm all about wrestlers taking aggressive action to make something of themselves. So, next week, right here on Nitro, you and Sean O'Haire are going to have a match. Pop. But just not a singles match. You and Sean O'Haire are going to have a last man standing match to truly see who's at the top of this show. Big pop for that, 82. And yep, there's your main event for next week on Nitro. Eddie versus O'Haire, last man standing. And then we have a fun little segment here as Rey's backstage, getting ready, when Stacy walks up to him, backed up by Kaz and Ninkyo, and Rey looks up and says, hey, Stacy, it has been a while. And she says, I'm a different woman now. But Kaz walks up and says, and then Stacy walks up, this man, he's no different. He's still the great, fantastic wrestler that was this close to taking the belt off of you before last year, Rey. And he can do it again, maybe sooner than you think. Rey's, look, this is, I have a match in a little bit, so again, talk to Bischoff. He's in charge here, not me. I'm the world champion. I just want to defend this title against all worthy competition. And that's where, like, Stacey, what, do you think Kaz is not worthy? And Ray's like, I didn't say anything like that. Look, I'm just, and he started to block him off, but then in comes Lashley and Claudio, along with Flair, and they're staring with those teams as Rey leaves. He, shares a nod with Flair, and Flair taps the title and says, congrats. And there you go. 78. Fun stuff. And then, we have, oh, whoops. Well, okay. That's unfortunate. I forgot I had put the car crash in the... Okay, well, I maybe should not put this as a wild brawl, but still. This is just a fun little match as it's Brother Rey and Jindrak, and they fight back and forth, and it's, what you expect. It's Jindrak using his power moves, Brother Rey doing some brawling, Jindrak doing some brawling of his own, but eventually Brother Rey gets the advantage, hits a few big moves, and hits the full Nelson Bomb, which I should probably figure out an actual name for, and gets a pinfall win here on Nitro over part of the Chosen Few. As gets an 80, Brother Rey gets a 91, Jindrak gets a 69, and yeah, fun stuff as Rey rolls out of the ring and celebrates before Chosen Few can come down. As it gets 68, as he gets a measure of revenge against the chosen few tonight. Then it's, by the replay, and then it's time for our main event. Which, okay, cool. All right, so, I mean, this is an awesome match. Like, it's 5 great work. Well, okay, in-game, it's 5 great workers and Titus Tomko. So Tomko's around, but he basically just, like, comes in, hits his big power spots on all these guys, but eventually, like, he gets triple team sent to the back, and it's basically awesome playing strong heel, Helms playing, the cocky prick he is, Rey Jr. flying around, Hart Legacy hitting some double team moves, Rey and Jack hitting some double team moves, back and forth, Helms in a big super kick on Evans, but Teddy Hart making the save. Teddy Hart then is hitting a wild sort of plancha on the Tomko on the outside, and eventually things break further down, and Rey Jr. actually hits the big, Awesome goes for the Awesome Bomb, but Rey Jr. turns it into the Hurricane Rana. He holds him down, 1, 2, 3, and Rey Jr. pins Mike Awesome right here on Nitro. As this gets a 90, Taylor gets an 87, Jack Evans gets a 94, Rey Jr. gets a 98, Tomko gets a 51, Helms gets a 90, and Awesome gets an 89. So there you go. Like, there's the show. Fun stuff as we move forward. And overall, this gets us an 89. All right, we're back. I skipped this because I know people don't sometimes remember this, but before SummerSlam, and Mania, I take over WWE and book their last shows and set up RVD. Now, so I'm not going to show the results of Raw just because, it doesn't actually spoil stuff, but, it's not a real booking. It's me just setting everything up. Regardless, looking at the news, okay, I did not see this. RVD got a divorce. I mean, in real life, he eventually did, because that's why he's with, what's their name? Who were those 2 women? I'm blanking. He was on social media a ton with him, and that was, his gimmick the last time he was in, Impact, I think. Jerry Sachs is your IWPR TV champion. He defeats Perry Saturn. Okay. And also, Marty Jannetty is your IWA Intercontinental Champion by defeating the Sandman. Wow, IWA is still on pure nostalgia fill. Anyway, sorry. Takayama has a back strain. That's fine. And, Nitro. Raw did well. G1 is doing G1 stuff. Screaming Ricky Gunn. But, Again, sort of getting stuff moving forward. I'll be back in just a moment with Revolution. So I'll see you with that in just a second here. And welcome to Revolution, live from Baltimore, Maryland, for a nearly sold-out crowd of 13,000 people plus in beautiful Baltimore, Maryland, as the crowd comes out as we start the show off with Rey Jr., your new WCW World Heavyweight Champion, coming out to the ring to a big pop, as, again, just like a Nitro, he thanks the crowd for all their support, and he's going to be a proud fighting champion right here on either Revolution or Nitro or pay-per-views. As long as he has his title, he's going to fight for the fans and put on the best show possible. And cue, of course, the triumvirate, Lance Storm, former TV champion, tag champion, Billy Kidman, your former world champion. And of course, Kidman starts out and say, fine, you want to defend this title? Get in this ring and put that belt against the man who should be still your world heavyweight champion, myself. Because I'm still the top athlete in professional wrestling, Rey, and you got lucky at Mayhem. You beat me. I'm not going to deny that. But you got lucky, kid. Not kid, sorry. You got lucky, Rey. So come take your ass kicking. And Rey's about to fight when, bam, here comes AJ Styles out to the, coming also out to the ring, facing out against Storm Kidman. He holds up his called shot and says, I just want to remind you, Kidman, if you win that belt, pretty soon I'm going to be in that ring with you, taking that belt right back from you. So if you get Rey back in the ring and win back the WCW Championship, it's not going to be yours for very long. And it looks like there's about to be a fight when Teddy Long comes out and says, playa. As far as who's going to get the next title shot, that's up to me, not any of you. But that'll be decided, that'll be announced next week. But for right now, Storm Kidman, sorry, you may have forgotten this, but you're already booked against these men. In Hugh America's Most Wanted, who come on and say, Storm, Kidman, you're happy about losing titles, that's on you. Because you're not going to face Rey, and you're going to face AJ tonight. You're going to be facing us, the best, the men Of course, one of the best tag team in the business. And if you don't like that, sorry about your damn luck. There we go. Main event set up for later of Storm and Kidman taking on Storms and Harris. Rey getting his promo, AJ Styles getting his promo, 83. Could be worse, just sort of building things up. And there we go. And then we have our opening tag match, which is interesting, as Booker T and Shelton Benjamin actually team up. Of course, Booker, saved Shelton, and they've been, friendly the past few weeks. I got a little, distracted from that because of the tournament, but now they're back together, and they're facing Finlay and Dean Malenko, and it's a fun little tag match to start things off, as Shelton Benjamin gets a pin over the veterans in a little under 6 minutes, straightforward win. This gets a 70, Shelton gets a 66, Booker gets an 81, Finlay gets a 36. Jesus, he's just beyond, he's not going to be around for much longer as far as contract goes, and Dean's Dean, which gets a 54, he's on total drops duty, because he's just no good in the ring anymore, but this is a good win, and they're a decent part of the roster. And after the match, of course, what happens is as the, babyfaces are celebrating, Cash rolls in, nails Booker from behind with a quick, turns him around, hits him with a quick DDT, and Shelton chases after him, but Cash is out of the ring quickly before he can make the save, as this feud continues, as this gets a 73. Fun stuff. Then we cut backstage, where you're still your tag champions. Jeff and Matt Hardy are backstage, doing backstage stuff, and then up walks Jamie Knoble. They look for a fight, and Knoble says, no, I'm not coming here to fight. I'm not that idiot who's going to fight you 1-on-2. But it's just a warning, Matt. I got you in that ring later tonight. And when I tap you out, know that isn't your fault. Those officials have pissed me off, and I'm going to make you an example for anybody who wants to get in my way. Matt fires back, well, we'll just have to see about that, because I'm half of the tag champs for a reason, Knoble, and you're a great wrestler, but I'm not going to let you walk over me. So there you go. Just reminding people, there's a match later tonight between one half of the tag champs, Matt Hardy, and Jamie Knoble. Of course, I've had his problems with Keith Walker the last few weeks, as we move forward here on Revolution. And we go in the ring to an interesting 4-way tag match, as we got Desiree Dawkins, who's had an impressive first few, month or so here in WCW, teaming up with Jonah Vez and turning on them and be a little mini feud. Ellie Danger and Alyssa Alexandra, of course, been a little feud of their own, and Lila Vizez, who's, mentioned here. And it's a back and forth match, everybody gets their fun little spots in, but in a little over 7 minutes, Ellie Danger goes to take down Alexander, but Alexander sends her into the corner, hits a quick little rolling reverse cradle, hits the bridge, 1, 2, 3, and picks up the big pinfall victory here in Revolution over her current, her current competitor, Ellie Danger. This gets a 62, Dawkins gets a 57, Danger gets a 58, Alexander gets a 56, Vivaz gets a 48. Fun stuff. And after the match, Ellie Danger is very upset that Alexander has got a measure of revenge over her after, of course, the heels got the win last week. Last week. Battling gets a 44, since it's a quick segment. And then we go backstage, where we see Sonny Siaki getting confronted by Booker T and Shelton Benjamin. Booker basically says, did you know Cash was going to do that tonight? And Sonny Siaki's like, Sonny Siaki handles his own business. He doesn't get involved in other people's business. But if you want to fight Sonny Siaki will kick your ass, just like I did before Booker. Big pop, big heel pop for that, because of course, the only reason Sonny defeated Booker is because of help from Cash. Or Benjamin, if you want to see who the real, true future top athlete in WCW is, then face Sonny Siaki like you should. Again, the babyface sort of stare at him and then walk away. Continuing this feud as this gets a 69. Fun stuff. And then we have Ken Anderson, your new television champion, after defeating Lance Storm, comes down to the ring and he says, welcome, everybody, to Revolution, and welcome to the beginning of the true revolution here, as I'm Ken Anderson, and I am the future of Revolution. I'm going to kick some ass and take some names. I don't care who's in front of me. They're just going to be another victim of the Kenton bomb. So just a quick little promo to put himself over. This gets a 73. And then we get our first TV title match, as Ken Anderson makes a successful defense against Trevor Slater in a little over 6 minutes. Not quite a squash, as Slater gets some brawling in, but a pretty straightforward win for your TV champion. He makes his first defense. This gets a 65. Anderson gets a 67. Slater gets a 45. Anderson pretty much, keeps, pretty much carries Slater along and carries the match. And post-match, Anderson celebrates as the Ushers put over him as, the new Ultimate Champion and a rising star here on Revolution. And then we got a big promo here as Walk hits and out comes to a chorus of boos your former WCW World Champion, along with his advocate Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman takes the mic and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, what you see here in this ring is the best wrestler and most talented wrestler in professional wrestling, but he has been denied his correct spot because WCW officials don't want a man such as him at the top of this business. So they allow men to grab the title from him and never give him a true rematch, even after he comes so close to winning back the title. They put him in the ring with pointless match after pointless match, and then they rip away the best opportunity for him to become champion once again. But he persisted. He did not walk away, or he did not simply accept his spot. He called me and got in contact with me, his advocate Paul Heyman, who reminded him of his talent, of his drive, and how he truly became the hottest free agent in professional wrestling before. He didn't do it by appealing to you fans. He did it by getting in this ring every single night, kicking ass, taking names, and not caring about your reaction. And at Mayhem, yeah, Paul London, kid, you got a little victory, but you paid the price. And you'll continue to pay the price if you do not stay out of my way." And Van Dam takes Mike and says, "That's right, I'm Rob Van Dam. I'm Mr. Wednesday Night. I'm the best wrestler in the world. And Paul London, man, you got in my way, kid. So just walk away, crow about your win, get some title shot you'll probably blow anyway, but don't get in the ring across me for me again unless you want to get your ass kicked again." So big heel promo, facing, setting up the RVD Heyman partnership more fully as this gets an 89, and the crowd does not like it at all. Oops, oh god damn it, that's the first time I've done that in a while. Okay, so European DisUnion got the win there over the sort of jobber tag team Daddy Natter and Emi Sakura up for Developmental. I'm not sure how good the match was because I hit next segment twice in a row, which again, it's the first time I've done that in a while, so congratulations to myself, I guess. But yeah, it was, it was a squash. It was like 4 or 5 minutes, if I remember my booking right. And European Union get to come back from their quote-unquote tour of Europe and look very impressive. And then they take the mic, and he says, "Once again, we have chosen you fans that no whelp or little Fraulein get in this ring and even come close to defeating us, the best tag team in women's wrestling." And then out comes Captivation. Yes, Angel Fox and Lexi James come out and they come to the top ramp. They say, wait. Look, Hida, Busick, you've done great, but you haven't faced any true competition yet. You faced a bunch of women who appeal to these dorks in the crowd and think they're something special. But look at us. Myself, the 21st Century Fox, a former women's world champion, part of the best stable in women's wrestling, and my partner, another former women's wrestling. You never got in the ring with us and actually faced off against us. So if you want some true competition, then be captivated by us before we take those title belts away from us. He just says, "We not care about the fans, but we not care about you either. So if you want to fight us, make the match, and we'll be happy to make you tap out like anyone else." There we go. Looks like a possibility of a heel feud going on here as this gets a 70. Yeah, fun stuff. And then we cut the backstage where Amy Weber is with Chuck Palumbo, ask him if he's disappointed about losing at Mayhem. And Palumbo basically says, what kind of idiotic question is that? Of course I'm disappointed about it. But it's not over. I got my old lady beside me. I got my bike. And I know, AJ Styles, you're thinking, you're nervous because you're ready for me to attack you. But no, I'm not going to do that yet. Because you see, AJ, you got the called shot. But you're not the champion. Rey Jr. is. And Rey Jr., yeah, I didn't win at Mayhem. But me, I was one of the last 4. And deep in your heart, you know that if you want to get in that ring as a champion and truly feel like it, you got to face a man like me and beat me in the middle of the ring. But the problem is, you can't do that. I would throw you around, toss you around, and destroy you. And walk out as WCW World Heavyweight Champion. And that's just what I'm going to do sooner or later. And Rey Jr., there's nothing you can do about it. There you go, solid heel promo, 78. Promo basically says he can take the title off of Rey Jr. anytime he wants. And then we have a fun little not mid-card, but like semi-main event, as it's Jamie Noble versus Matt Hardy, as it's a back-and-forth match. Matt Hardy looks impressive as half of the tag champions. He gets his fighting in, he gets his, big moves, the second rope leg drop, a big suplex, hits Twist of Fate for a near fall, but Noble fights back, hits his big suplexes, tries to lock Hardy and holds. Eventually what happens is Hardy, goes for the Twist of Fate again. Hardy tosses him into the corner, goes low on his knees, and then just takes apart his knees and his shoulders, and then actually locks in a hold and blatantly uses the ropes to keep the hold on. Hardy fights out of it, but he's slowed down. And eventually Noble locks Hardy into the guillotine choke, and with nowhere to go, Matt Hardy has to tap out, and Jamie Noble gets a big win here on Revolution over one half of the tag champs. This gets an 80. Noble gets an 88. Hardy gets a 75. Really fun match. And then post-match, Jamie Noble is celebrating when out of nowhere, Keith Walker comes in, and okay, should have done this for 3 minutes, not 4 minutes, and just comes in and just starts walloping on Jamie Noble. He gets revenge for himself as his feud is continuing. Walker tosses Noble out of the ring and just begins throwing him into the ring apron against the barricade everywhere before WCW just come down and break things apart. And now just put over this, this battle is far from over here on Revolution, as this gets a 58. And then, really good. Okay, there we go. This is what I wanted. So, Tricia Skye comes down to the ring, to a big pop from the crowd, as she puts over, Lizzie, you gave me a hell of a fight, but I'm still here as the Women's World Champion, because I am the best women's wrestler in professional wrestling. I have the title about to prove it, and the support of these fans. The sky's the limit for women's wrestling here in WCW. And then cue Joni Lawler, who is back after a few months of being gone, and she walks down to the ring to a big pop because she is a star, but also boos because she's Joni Lawler, and she stares at Tricia Skye for a second, and then she points at the title, and before Tricia can do anything, kicks the gut, picks her up, powerbomb, and it looks like we have a new feud. So yep, Joni's back. She's going great after the title against Tricia Skye. This gets to 99 because these guys are really over and have great skills. Then we have a Rocky Pop recap focusing on Rey Jr. being there. This gets to 74, and then I believe it's time for our main event. And oof, okay, this is a little disappointing. Oh, I forgot to put a storyline on it. I'm a moron. Yep, okay. I'm a moron. This should have been like an 85, 90, but I totally forgot to put a storyline on it. Oh well. Really good. A great tag team match. Honestly, this should have been, let's see if I do a little quick math. Yeah, this should have been like an 84, 85. But really fun tag match. Storm and Kidman, of course, are top heel, so they're impressive. Storm using his technical skill, Kidman, a former world champion. But what happens here is Storm and Kidman are a great tag team. They were even tag champs for I think a week back at the beginning of last year, or this year, because they won the tag team tournament. But they're not a regular tag team. America's Wanted are a tag team. They ride together. They work together. They're together at all sorts of days, and they're a finely tuned machine here. Eventually, what happens here is Kidman gets a near fall after the Kid Crusher, but Harris makes the last second save. Harris and Kidman brawls. Storm takes advantage. Lance comes in and tries to go for a big super kick on James Storm, but James gets out of the way, hits Lance Storm with a big modified tombstone for a near fall. Things get involved. Chris Harris gets tagged in, hits the catatonic. That also gets a near fall. Kid makes a save. Brawl again. Eventually, James Storm is the legal man. Storm gets nailed again with the 8-second ride. 1, 2, 3. And your winners are America's Most Wanted, getting the pink pinfall over Storm Kidman. Of course, Kidman doesn't do the job. Like I said here, Kidman gets a 93. Lance gets a 75. James Storm gets an 86. Chris Harris gets an 80. And yeah, this totally would have been like an 83, 84 if not for the wacky stuff. And then, post-match, Storm and Kidman try to go after America's Most Wanted. But then, here comes America's Wanted and AJ Styles to make the save to break things up, to end the show, help AMW up, but there's a little bit of tension between the tag champs and the former tag champs as the show ends. And the show gets his overall an 86. Okay, that could have been a lot worse. So, yep. Again, skip through because I'm currently playing WWE, so that would be a bit of a spoiler for stuff. Yeah, Lance Storm should probably let off, but, like, he doesn't, like, seem... I don't know. It's weird. Anyway. Oh, no. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, Lashley was coming up because I signed up and, yeah, extended because, yeah, of course he did. I know Lance, but I don't know. Anyway, so looking over things, we got first our storyline. So Against the Darkness is, at a 54. That's, oh, right, because, like, a bunch of bad angles. Okay. Yikes. This might be if, like, I might have to, like, want to kill this feud eventually. Anyway, sorry. Chosen Backgrounds is at an 80. Cruiser Stuff's at a 51. Evolution is Mysteries at a 70. Mayhem Showdown's at a 90. Top Guy Stuff's at an 89. Wright Chavo's at a 66. Heyman London RVD's at an 89. DisUnion or Disorder's at a 67. Helping Your Understudies at a 65. Johnny's Back's at an 84. Knoble Strikes Back at a 47. New Rivals at a 73. Revolution Rising is at 84. Rey Jr.'s Revenge is at a 90. And Taking Their Property Back, which is now I'm going to change the name, is at an 81. So fun stuff as far as that goes. Creative-wise, just so you know, there's some changes to this. So Goldberg's still number 1 guy. Rey Jr. is our number 2 guy. RVD's our number 3. Then Eddy, and then Tricia Skye. So yeah. So then, if we look around the rest of the wrestling world, again, I'm not going to show you guys Nitro, Raw, or SmackDown results just because it's spoilers for SummerSlam, which will be our next show. But, you know, stuff is happening. Like, just as a quick check, like, I have been booking, like, I got a 90 on this show, I got an 86 on this show, so it's not like I'm, you know, not trying to book good shows. Like, I'm not getting random 99s because I'm not the AI, but, you know, what can you do? But anyway, going to first our dev fed, NWA Wildside, they had a TV show. Let's see here, Tony Jones beat JC Daz. Tony Jones is not doing great. Lazarus, Dag Briggs, Kenzo Suzuki defeated a bunch of guys. Kenzo's at a 51, not bad. Matt Cross defeated Ryan Drago. Cross is coming up sooner than later. Damien Raven Akabone defeated Onyx and Chocobo Mukaki, and Jason Cross defeated Stone Mountain. And then for their weekly house show, we had Ryan Drago and Kurt Solling defeated Matt Morgan and Austin Creed. A bunch of people who maybe eventually on the main roster, but aren't ready yet. Brett Major defeated Reckless Youth. So, the thing about Reckless is he's actually on a handshake contract, and he has a contract with an NWA company, so he sometimes gets moved out, but I'll just pretend like that was a DQ. Matt Cross defeated Cassidy by count in a match for the Georgia Junior Heavyweight Champion. Damien Rove defeated Onyx, and yeah, that's about it again. And then for American Wrestling Queens, we got Michelle McCool defeated Amazing Kong in a tables match. Lots of backstage segments. Becky Bayless defeated Tracy Taylor. Madison Square defeated Portia Perez. Amy Sakura, Ariel, and Carlos Chambers defeated ODP and the Mega Women. Fun stuff. And Mikawa Saka defeated Mischief in an I Quit match. And yeah, in case you didn't know, Mischief is the woman war again who I brought in. Because I'll put her stats in a second. Because the other thing is Impact Wrestling. You know how I gave them a TV show? Well, they lost that TV show because they don't have a good roster. So yeah, that's unfortunate for them. Because they. Oh, did I show you guys? No, I did not. No. Oh no, I totally showed you guys this. But yeah. Oh, correct. Like, yeah, 51 is not a great show for them. Anyway. But yeah, as a quick check-in. So yeah, Morgan, aka Mischief. She was a long time indie woman in real life. But she I think she was retired or just like out of the business by the time like the whole everybody got signed up thing. Anyway, she's really good in the ring. Has good psychology like everybody in our dev fed. But solid stats, good charisma, good star quality. You know, not the best talent, but a really good talent with a gimmick that works. So there you go. But yeah, again, that's about it for that. So if we also look around the rest of the wrestling world, so if we do that, if we do oops, that's not the right thing. Again, I played this game for literally 18 zillion hours. You think I should know by now. So if we go back to last week's Revolution, which was this, right? Okay. So, as far as stuff that matters that you guys would care about. Oh, I forgot HWA. So, HWA, of course, had their weekly show. Ricky Shane Page finally defeated Ray Steele for the HWA TV title. Joel Grunge defeated Excalibur. That's really it. If we go to OVW's weekly loop, not much going on here, really. Sarah Stock defeated AJ Sparks. Riptide defeated Evelyn Chambers. John Cena did another job, but he's still getting like 57s. It's weird. Joy Ryan defeated Charlie Haas. Lacey Borden defeated Chantel Taylor. And Danny Doring won the OVW title, finally defeating Joey Matthews. Let's see here. There was another big show I wanted to show you guys. Well, we've got OVW as well. Danny Doring defeated Danny Computer, retained the OVW title. Tommy Mamaluke defeated Chuck Taylor. Chantel Taylor defeated Sarah Stock. And John Morrison defeated John Cena again. So there we go. Fun stuff. Oh, right. Integrity had one of their big shows. Remember, for those of you who don't remember, Integrity basically is the Ring of Honor replacement, since Ring of Honor got taken over by Rob Black, is now Ring of Violence. So, for this show, we got Darkness Crabtree defeated Brian Major. He won't do anything in this business. That got a 36. Vito Tomaselli and John Moxley defeated Emilio Cortez and Tony Tilsoy. Cortez is Region. Everybody else is People. Rorschach defeated Davey Richards. I mean, sure. And then we got Shane Storm defeated Brian Gamble. Spuds McKenzie, who is the future, I think that's the future, Drake Maverick, right? No, okay, never mind. He's English. He's just a random guy. Brian Logan defeated Peter Goodman. Future Shock, which is BJ Whitmer and Logan Kane, defeated Eddie Cullen and John Waters for the Integrity tag titles, basically. Flash Flanagan and David Young defeated Damaja and Doug Basham. Yes, the Basham brothers are together on the Indies, even though they're not really a team, but it's funny. Shane Balor defeated John Phoenix. Shannon Moore, Mark Merrow, and Jerry Lynn defeated Marcus Miltech, Matt Striker, and Tyler Bateman. That's sure a 6-man tag. And then your main event was Perry Saturn retained the Champion of Integrity title over Tony Kozina, Ice Train, and Shallon Ballard. So, fun little show for them. Let's see, and there's Mayhem. WC had one of their big shows in front of 3,000 people in Puerto Rico. Let's see here. Anything of note, really? Not really. Yeah. BGW had a big show. Oh, right. Okay. This is hilarious. Okay. So, there was a triple threat match on the show. It had the Great Suzuki, which, again, working in a big Japan, can't work Monday pay-per-views for me. Shingo Takagi, who's, of course, a guy. And, of course, John Zandig. What a wacky triple threat. And then your main event, Hanma defeated Ogawa and Hashi. Tenryu showed up at a Big Japan show, defeated Bama Bigelow in a barbed wire match. Sure, that would have happened. And other fun stuff. Let's see here. Anything else of note? IWA Puerto Rico had a big show. They had Jerry Sags defeating Perry Saturn. Rogar Animal defeating El Nini, whoever that is. Rick Steiner defeated Demon. Yes, that Demon. And Marty Jannetty defeated Sandman. This is a indie-ass show that happens to be in Puerto Rico. Let's see here. Anything else of note? Let's see here. FWA, PAW, OCCW had a big show. Let's see here. Rick Blade defeated Sandman. Bruiser Mastino defeated Amazing Red. Dixie and Johnny Cashmere defeated Headstringer Samu and Jerry Sags. Balls Pony defeated Justice Payne. Not my prophet, another prophet. But yeah. And of course, Onita is doing pre-show matches because it's funny. But yeah, that's it. Sort of an interesting spot. Again, next up will be SummerSlam, as is tradition. Remember, I take over both the booking for WWE. We got a final week. It's an interesting show. Again, I should have taken over a little earlier, but it completely slipped my mind. I realized, it's week 4. I don't know. I think I was too distracted by Mayhem. Anyway, that's it. If you enjoyed this, go and give it a like. Comment below what liking and not liking. Subscribe to the channel for plenty of TEW 2020 content such as this, my Ring of Honor series, possibly some other series I'll be bringing back, Journey of Wrestling, and basketball GM stuff. Hopefully will be starting up again. But that's it for now. So talk to you later, and adios. Have a good one.